You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars.
On this episode, we'll be listing the top 5 changes from Guardians of the Galaxy movie from the comics. Nebula. In the movies, they made it seem like Nebula was the actual daughter of Thanos and that they did cooperate with each other and they did have a sort of relationship, even if it was kind of tense. This was not true in the comics. In fact, Nebula was the one that claimed that she was actually a descendant of Thanos. And Thanos, when he came back around, was so disgusted by the thought of her saying that and her being a grandchild or daughter or anything of his, that he tortured her. He tortured her so bad that he ended up killing her, reanimating her as a zombie, but a zombie that was aware of her predicament, which was also kind of used to court death. But Thanos had no love for Nebula, and reality had no use for her, and psychotically tortured her to prove his point that he was not approving of her. Groot. You kind of got the feeling from the movies that Groot was this simple-minded, lovable brute, that he was just there to be, the meat and just go around and hitting people. And that simply isn't true in the comics. In the comics, Groot is genius-level intellect. He's much smarter than everyone on that ship and part of that crew. His language has so many little nuances to it that it takes somebody of a higher intellect or a lot of training to be able to even understand his language. So while in the movies they try to play him off as this dumb, lovable kind of, I am Groot, in the comics, he was a genius and just, in general, a badass. Star-Lord or Peter Quill's mother. Number 3. So in the movies we see Peter Quill's mom dies in the beginning of cancer or other such illness. I'm pretty sure it was cancer. In the comics, she didn't die that way. She ended up raising him, and then when Peter was a little boy, aliens came back to Earth, and they ended up killing her. So, while she died of illness in the movies, she died from aliens coming to Earth in the comics. On that same vein, Peter Quill was not abducted as a child. He actually ended up growing up and having a career as an astronaut and joining the space program. He was so hated and disliked, he was just cocky and arrogant and just mean to people, that he actually got bumped off a space mission. Then after kind of sucking up and being nice, he ended up getting on another space mission. When they were up there, Abin said that Earth got to choose in about, I believe, 14 days' time who's going to be the Star-Lord of their planet. And unfortunately, Peter Quill was not picked, and that made him very upset. So Peter, being, the arrogant, cocky guy he is, ends up beating up the guy that was supposed to become the Star-Lord and taking his place. And that is how he became Star-Lord. So, outright in the movie, she states that Thanos killed her parents and tortured her, and she hates him and wants revenge on him. And in the comic, Thanos had no hand in killing her parents. And in fact, Thanos was the one that rescued her as a child. So her planet was being exterminated, her people being killed, her parents were killed, and Thanos actually came down and rescued her. He was not the one that had any hand in it. And in fact, in the comics, gave her a chance at revenge on the people who did kill her parents. On top of that, while Thanos was raising her to be an assassin, he did genuinely care for her and treat her like a daughter. We see this in the comics when he gives her a Christmas and presents and a doll, and when her doll is destroyed, he instantly offers to replace it. So the movies really made him sound a lot worse than what he was to her. So thank you for watching. We release geeky videos every day. We go anywhere from comic reviews to geek baking to cosplay to tutorials on geek crafting, game playthroughs. Make sure you subscribe. like this video, it really helps us out. Follow us on any of the social medias.